empowering SME to work remotely and securely with ATZO Share. Please take note that you can send all the questions that you have to Mr. Amirul during this webinar via the chat. We will address the question after the presentation. Now, let's not wait any longer. We will invite Mr. Amirul to the stage and speak about today's topic.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Mr. Hami, for inviting me to the webinar series today. Hello everyone, my name is Amirul from SMS. Today I would like to share how SMEs can quickly help to work more efficiently, securely, anywhere, anytime. My agenda for today is we're going to understand digitalization and automation. What is file sharing? What is ATZO Share? Problem to solutions. Let us understand a few things about digitalization and automation. The push to digitalize and automate in nations started even before the pandemic through various incentives for firms to embrace technology advancement and industrial revolution 4.0. During COVID-19, businesses are likely to be more incentive to invest technology to remain resilient. If most operations can move online, business will only be marginally affected by physical containment measures during the pandemic. This is more likely to help your company. So, what is file sharing? File sharing is the practice of distribute or providing access to the digital media, such as computer program, multimedia files, document, presentation, or electronic book. File sharing may be achieved in several ways. For example, file transfer protocol program, which is the FTP, peer-to-peer networks, removable storage media, online file sharing services. So, what is ATZO Share? ATZO Share is a data sharing platform that has secure file sharing capabilities and is accessible anytime, anywhere. Let me share a few problems with the company when staff working remote work environment. Challenges of remote works. The first one is risk of losing documents. User might accidentally delete or remove the important company document, such as audit accounts, project plan, tender requirement document, etc. The second one is risk of hard disk failure. There will be a loss of data, which include corrupted data and costly time consuming for SMEs to look to restore data that has been lost. Next one is the security. Insider threat, which will lead to a data leakage. Because of that, lack of monitoring and lack of permission role setting then can lead to a sabotage. Next is the cost. Another file sharing platform is expensive for SMEs to start off. Silo storage, dependable on a single storage. Lack of visibility, which is hard to control. Lastly is the lack of visibility. Employees take matters into their own hands and engage in file sharing services on their own. Unauthorized sharing, able to share without consent of the created document. So, what is the solution to this problem? Let's go to the next slide. Solution to challenge of remote works. With ATZO Share, it can solve your problem. Number one is real-time sync. Uninterrupted syncing of document and personal folders, which means Each time document will edited, it will sync without disturbing the user. Second, versioning, which is easy to retrieve previous version of a document. The third one is charge by capacity. ATZO Share only charge pay per use, cost efficiency, and easily to scalable. The fourth one is monitoring. Allow any administrative to keep track of the folder or file changes. Next is storage. It is stored in cloud environment, which means it's safe from disaster and part of business continuity plan. Next one is authentication. It will secure your data within our security, such as OTP. For a user to access, you need the OTP. Lastly is sync. Each edit will get a document sync immediately. And if you have another laptop and you need to install ATZO Share, no worries, it will sync and download it again. Next, we'll be talking about a different problems. Challenge of remote work. Other issues or problem we might encounter. Number one is messy collaboration via email. In this situation, users find it hard to find attachment inside email. Assuming you have 100 of email and not sure which email that have the attachment, can you imagine 100 of email need to go through each of it? Quite hassle, isn't it? Second, people busy sending file through email, which is lead to unnecessary upload and download. You must go through all the email just to download one attachment. Third one is there is chances dealing with confusion version and file renaming. It is difficult to tracking every individual changes by each user. And lastly, collaboration on large files. Some files are too big to send over email, mostly on cap at 20 megabytes. And if you need to send over email, you need to compress first before sending out. Let's check what are the solutions for this problem. Share file through ATZO Share. For these features, users can view, edit, and save on ATZO Share, and will automatically download and upload. There are also track version history. You can send your big file easily. With these features, user can use the link provided and straight away download the file. Less hassle, isn't it? Next one is log. For this one, it will auto-log your file while editing, which will avoid coworkers accidentally overriding your file. Lastly is the restore. This feature is quite straightforward, which user can restore the file to the previous version. Given situation, if user accidentally changes the file, user can always restore back to the previous version. Okay, next we are going to discuss about folder permission. The first one is no access to file in office. Assuming file or folder can only be accessed within the same network, so if user must work from home, then user will not have the access to the folder. Second, it is too dependent on a single person to issue permission to a folder, which is a limited access. You must wait for the person to respond, else you're not going anywhere. So what is the solution for these issues? Permission can be granted. So administrator easily granted permission to user anywhere and anytime. Another one is role. Easily revoke permission when required. And easily granted permission to access folder anywhere and anytime. Lastly, manage workflow. Share approval process that regulate the share data. Folders or files that contain sensitive data like personal information or intellectual property can be enforced with the workflow function. Okay, to wrap up, let me tell you how ATZO Share can safeguard your file in three different aspects. Under control, we allow flexible role and access permission, advanced security policy control at company, group, or even at a user level. For the visibility, you can get comprehensive audit logs and report from the central admin, which is you can have end-to-end file activities tracking. Lastly, under security, you can safeguard your file. You have authenticate access, where authentication is a process which is by a system verify the identity of a user who wishes to access the system. And another one, encrypt the file, OTP and 2FA, view only mode with watermark access expiry, and restrict download attempts. To conclude, for my today webinar series is that every SME company that planning to using these platform features, they can use ATZO Share to begin with, since it's uh, uh, quite cheap and scalable. Right now, I pass it to moderator for the question and answer.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Amirul. I hope all of you enjoy his amazing presentation. Very informative, okay, and also very insightful. Okay, now Mr. Amirul will answer some of the questions that I managed to collect, okay, during his presentation. Okay, so question number one. One of the audience here asked me that what is the main difference between ATZO Share and Google Drive? And also, if you may include a Dropbox service. I believe it's more to the free service that provided by Google Drive and also Dropbox. Yeah.
Okay, that's the good question actually. So for the main difference between this file sharing is obviously is the cost. Since we are playing with big companies, ATZO Share is more on startup for SME company, in which ATZO Share also easily scalable.
Okay. Yeah. Good point. I agree with that. So we move on to question number two here. So it's regarding about one feature that you mentioned, ATZO Share feature. So question is monitor feature limited to certain level of user permission?
Okay, actually it's another good question. This monitoring is for everybody. But to do that, first you need to enable it in ATZO Share administrator, and this is will allow user to monitor their files and folders.
So hopefully that answer from Mr. Emerald is sufficient to those who ask. As we bring this webinar session to close, we once again thank for all attendees and Mr. Amirul, and hope that this activity has given everyone in here a much clearer understanding of the topics for today. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
Bye bye everyone. Thank you.
Okay, bye.